There's one. Set for stun.
Welcome to the Law Be With You podcast show, also known as Christian Van der Geek on YouTube. I've got my good friend Alex on the show today. Talking, a laugh and a lot of fun. This brother's a really talented dude, involved in film and whatnot. And I just want to kind of get some ideas from this dude. He's one of the guys that were the main reason why I started the podcast show. Helped me from a very technical standpoint. So, Alex, introduce yourself to the guys. A lot of guys in the States, in the US that are fans of the show. Let them know who you are and what you're about.
Hello. Yes, my name is Alex Raul Martin, and thank you, Aaron, for having me on the podcast. It's a privilege to be invited to such a new, fresh, and interesting podcast. And I've been listening to some of your stuff, and so it's really good to be here. My background is that I've known Azzy for so many years now, and I'm a film professional, so I'm a sound assistant in TV and film. So that's what I do full time. I'm a musician, and I'm into films in general, into different types of films. So it's really good to kind of hash in and see what we can talk about and share with you our thoughts.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Wanting to pioneer a new thing, but kind of is that saying that he's kind of stuck in a mode? Like he's got his mode, he's got his sort of how would you put it? He's got his films that he's comfortable being in, playing that role. Do you think that was a mistake, not kind of thinking to branch out of that, or do you think it's playing it safe? You know about the film industry, like you're around actors that some of them will find a sort of niche that they're really strong in. But what about if you want to go to the next level? What do you do in that situation?
I think it's a way up of options, really, because though he would have been the star protagonist of The Matrix, I do also think that when it does come to innovation in film, it is the directors and the production that gets the credit for it. It's not necessarily the actor. Now, an actor's they'll always have a vision for how they want to progress and develop their acting skills and what they're known for and how they can kind of broaden or be better at what they do. But I just think from Will Smith's kind of standpoint, from where he was at that point, he was used to being delivered and pitched packages that weren't a bit rustic or a bit unfinished or a bit untidy, but things that were already packaged. When he was given Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it describes of this whole concept of what he could relate with already. A guy from Philly living with his auntie and uncle. These are all things that he could relate with and he could understand. But offering something like that, like you can look at some of his films now and see how there's slight similarities between certain concepts that he's done before, or is like Men in Black and Wild West. He didn't want to be known as the guy with the alien films.
He says the alien guy. He doesn't want to be known as the alien guy. I thought that was funny. I thought that was a laugh.
He didn't want to be known as the alien guy. He's already got the Fresh Prince franchise. He's already got the music kind of franchise kind of going. And he wanted, I think he's more involved in reinventing himself. Like you see him now, is so out there on social media. Before he wasn't, no one knew what Will Smith was doing on social media. I didn't. I certainly didn't know what he was doing on social media. But he's out there reinventing himself, doing like Snapchat shows, making new partnerships with so many different companies now. He's marketing himself so differently because he's more, I think it's more focused on developing himself rather than developing an industry that is involved in.
But I mean, let's get controversial now, Alex. On this show, we're not afraid to talk about real talk. We're not, and we're going to talk real talk again. What's going on? What's going on with Jada, man? What's happened there, man? Because there's a million memes, brother. I've seen so many memes with Will Smith crying. But and I'm telling you what, man, it's heartbreaking, man. This guy was a superstar, alpha black man. This
Yeah.
guy was a role model,
Yeah.
And then every 5 minutes on social media world, this guy, a tweet comes up with this guy, and every meme is about something that's upset somebody, and it's him, picture of him crying. What is going on? What has Jada done to this black man?
Have you not seen the
I've
YouTube?
heard little bits about it. I haven't actually watched the full thing. So do talk us through it, man, because
Okay.
there's guys at home, there's guys and girls at home. They want to know, Alex. They want to know what is going on. Why is this brother being memed every 5 seconds? What's going on?
Well, the main thing around it was that Jada had what she calls an entanglement. Basically, she was just fooling around.
Sorry, Alex. Sorry, let me interrupt you. Hang on. Did you just say entanglement?
That's her words, quote unquote.
Entanglement, like quantum mechanics, where like particles are like connecting at far distances faster than the speed of light. Are you telling me she's talking about quantum mechanics?
Basically, quantum mechanics with another man.
Jada has managed to fuse to do a few. This is, guys at home, please listen to me, please. This is fusion, hybrid.
Yeah.
With a man at a distance faster than the speed of light, she's managed to have a connection. This is quantum mechanics and adultery mixed together. I'd never. And this is phenomenal. This is something.
I think that's what happened.
This is why Will Smith doesn't like new things. This is why Will Smith does not like new things. Everybody.
Oh yeah.
Right, Alex, carry on. Sorry, brother.
No,
sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so she had an entanglement with an artist who was not in the best of shape at the time. He was staying at their house, just so they can just kind of talk to him. He was a good friend of the family. And what happened is that things escalated, and they had a situation where Jada and him were in a situation. I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I had a conversation about it on their Red Table Talk. Now, that picture, that meme that you're on about, is when Jada is explaining to Will about what happened in their marriage, and he, at this point, is fully aware of what's gone on, but they just need to explain it because the media's already started talking about it. So they just need to explain it. Now, Will claims that when he drinks loads of coffee, that his eyes go bloodshot red. In that video, he looked sad, which understandably, he should be sad because the love of his life, his wife, has gone off and done an quote unquote entanglement. So
she's gone whole scientific with another guy.
That's what X-Men, all the sci-fi stuff, man. It has to affect your soul.
Oh, my sci-fi. Listen, brother, don't blame sci-fi. We all need some escapism sometimes, man. Like, the world is a crazy place, man. We're talking about sci-fi. This brother should have been Neo, and then next minute his wife's entangled. What's going on here? You know what I mean?
See, it's the thing with Jada. She was meant to be an exclusive, sealed, secured connection Wi-Fi for Will, but she decided
super speed broadband.
Super speed, but she decided to make that connection public and allow others in. The trespassers to slow down the connection.
See, that brother, the entangled guy, he's gone on to Wi-Fi. He shouldn't have gone on to. That's not his connection.
You shouldn't have had the password.
Buy your own broadband, brother. Get your own. Don't steal other people's broadband. That's not for you.
Do you know what it was? I think because Will Smith is like, he's a treasure. He's an icon.
Yeah, he's an icon.
And seeing him having to sit in front of his wife and hear her say those things was hurtful to a lot of people because they're like, no, we can't do this to Will. But on the other hand, Will said he was doing his own thing as well. So people always skip over that part. He was doing his own thing. So I don't think he was too bothered. They were both happy with doing what they were doing. But it was bad for their marriage. And they realized it was bad for their marriage. So I think, he's gone through a lot. And I think they've gone through a lot in terms of their family dynamic and, really trying to navigate family out of the public eye as much as they can do. Think things always leak out, you know, but I think it's hard to do that, and I think he's tried his best to do it. And since I've been having this red table talk with Jada, her mom, and Willow, I think it's kind of thrusted them into the spotlight a little bit more because they're giving something actively to the audience, to the public again.
Yeah, and they've provided like a lot of meme material. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
His kids, they come across as out there, like very unusual kids. That I think like is there a danger when the parents are so famous, so wealthy, so iconic, that the kids struggle to find, they struggle to know who they are within that paradigm, and so they end up sort of floating around. They end up kind of into weird things, and it's almost like they're trying to find their sort of space. Is that fair?
I think that's fair to say. It's fair to say, and I think they needed to go that far for themselves. Really, it's not for anybody else, but for themselves, because
their own journey.
You got the hot mama, you know, you got the funny dad, and I think when there's two people that have come together and they've made children, there's automatically an expectation that's put on by the public, by the audience, their audiences, that you need to face up to those sort of, you know, the expectations, you know, the really good look, the elegant smile, you know, the sex appeal, you know, the comedy, the really funny. I think people feel that because they know their parents for that. I feel that really weighed heavily on them. So they've really had to stretch out into, you know, different genres and different concepts that they wouldn't really relate with their parents, to try and find their own identity. And I think identity is really important. And I think that's something that's been really important to Will as well. Why didn't he want to be the alien guy? He could have been great as the alien guy, but he knew how he wanted to be identified and knew what he wanted to identify with. So I think that regarding his children, his son Trey, I believe his name's Trey, he seems more relaxed. More relaxed. His younger children that he had with Jada, Willow, and Jaden, I think they're a bit more out there, which is understandable. You know, do you think, you know, they did the acting, they did the music, the same as a dad, and they realized, okay, but I want to create this sort of music, or I want to act in this sort of film, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, you know. They want to do their own thing. But I think there is a danger at some point that you have to set a culture. As parents, you have to set a culture in your family. And they've obviously set the culture. It's like there's not really any bounds here. You can go as far as you want, as long as you kind of come back home, kind of thing. But I think there is a danger where you let young people, especially with young minds, impressionable minds, spread their wings out too far. They start dipping their fingers in so many different pies that they could be, you know, mentally damaged.
Yeah, and that's come across as well. Like they're kind of, you know, like, is it that character that flew I forgot the name of it now. It's in the Greek mythology where he flew to Icarus. That's the Icarus, where he flew too close to the sun, and his I think the glue or the bonding that was holding his wings melt, and he falls to the ground, kind of thing. And it's that kind of Icarus effect, isn't it? Like they've flown too close to the sun, type of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, this sort of, like you say, relaxed parenting, of this sort of relaxed sort of mode of doing things, I think, like you say, I totally agree with you. Like, no, you know, you got to have some boundaries there. Like, you know, you just can't there's got to be freedom, but there's got to be some boundaries as well, because at the end of the day, you know, these kids are burning out left, right, and center, and it's all happening in the media. Where's their protection? Where's their shield?
Yeah.
And that's the thing there, man. Okay.